Hey friends, sorry about that first few minutes. Having a little trouble getting set up here. I hope everybody is able to see the video and that we are live here from Hunters Point Avenue in Queens. We're overlooking both the 7 train, which is coming into view now, in the Long Island and Amtrak railroad tracks. We're at Harold Interlocking, and we should see a bit of action. But the purpose of this video really is to thank everybody. And we can't really see if there's a train going into that tube near us, the Long Island Railroad train. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for viewing my videos. Probably by tomorrow evening, I'll reach my 2 millionth views, and I'm really appreciative of everybody that's watched. I never believed when I started this that 2 million people would look at my videos. Anyways, friends, I just want to give a quick hello to everybody and just really thank you. And I'll get on with the video. Just a little bit about the channel. And here's another 7 train coming into view. We're going to see a bunch of these. And I'll change the location or the view in a little bit. I just want to say that, I started my channel on October 8th of 2019, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time since I saw a video of the last run of the trackless trolleys, or the trolley buses in Boston and Cambridge. I believe it was done by Miles in Transit, and it was just so well done. I'm a big trolley bus or a trackless trolley fan, as well as a streetcar fan and a transit rail fan. And it just kind of gave me the the impetus to go with my channel. I didn't really know how to start, so I want to give a shout out to my friend Scott out in Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia, who actually set it up for me for my first video, which was done on October 14th, kind of a big family day, October 14th of 2019, where I uploaded my first video, and it was entitled, it's kind of funny. Titles are usually kind of short and eye-catching, but this is my first title: Work Train Finishing Up at Met's Willets Point 7 Train Flushing Line Yard. Kind of like a Saturday Night Live spoof. But anyways, that was my first video in 2019, and in the first 24 hours, it got 5 views, and one of those was probably me, or maybe more. Since that time, it's gotten about 240 views, and YouTube Analytics breaks it down. I have the so far this year in 2025, 29 views. Last year, 30 views. In pre-2024, 169 views. So and I made 0 on that. And I guess I just want to point it out, it's like you got to start somewhere. I really encourage people, no matter if they're into trains or whatever, just start filming and posting it. I was monetized in December 20th of 2022, so it's just a little over not quite 3 years ago. So it took me, 3 years to get monetized. You need to have 1,000 subscribers, and people have to watch your videos for a total of 3,000 hours within 365 days. It's definitely doable, but you just got to post. I didn't post a lot in 2020, the year of COVID. I started posting more heavily in 2021. And then after I got monetized, I've been posting. I generally try to post 2 short videos each day and 2 long form videos each week. And I pretty much stick to the schedule, take a few breaks here and there, things come up. But so far I have about 30, a little over 3,100 subscribers. I'm really grateful. I did a special 3,000 sub video, and I really appreciate all. Most of my viewers aren't subscribers, and I appreciate them and encourage them if or to consider subscribing if you see something you like here. I really appreciate it. My first YouTube started doing the short videos in March of 2021. However, my first short, which appears in my timeline, was from 10/14/2019. And originally, I think it was not a short, but that's probably when I shot it. And it was a video down at South Ferry, and I like it. It used to be a loop at South Ferry where the one trains would come down and then and turn and head back up to the Bronx. And the platform was on a curve, a sharp curve, and it was very short. Only five of the 10-car train could match the platform, and they had automatic gap fillers that extended to the train cars. And this was taken out of service, and they put in a brand new stub-in station that could platform 10 cars and no gap fillers. And then Hurricane Sandy hit in 2012, destroyed the new station, but the old part was still left intact. And so they were using the old station that went into the loop. And I got a video there before it closed. I'm glad I did. Um, and that was kind of my first short. I've have about posted about 2,400 videos. Most of them are the shorts, and most of my views have come from the shorts. But I just want to encourage people that are thinking about starting a channel to go for it. I mean, my channel is mostly on transit, very heavily on New York City transit. Most of my viewers like New York City subway system. Get a lot of views on that. But also done up Boston, Philadelphia, a little bit of Washington, and I hope to do Chicago. I know they have a great system. And this spot, we're overlooking Long Island City. Let me turn this a little bit. As you can see the skyline of Long Island City with the 7 train. And I just want to take this time out to the 7 train's kind of my favorite train line, and it's many rail fans' favorite train line. And there's a lot of good train lines in the city. But if you're visiting and you want to take a look outside of Manhattan, the 7 train has very frequent service. Today is a Saturday. Very frequent service, and you can get it from most of the spots in Midtown Manhattan, Times Square, Hudson Yards, Grand Central, Fifth Avenue, and just ride it out. Once you come here, this is Hunters Point Avenue station. It's all elevated almost to the very end. At the very end, it goes back underground at Flushing Main Street. That's a very busy area. Lots of restaurants, lots of Asian type restaurants there. Very crowded and busy area. It's nice. But by taking the 7 train, you can see obviously Long Island City here. Takes you over the Sunnyside Yard, which is the largest coach yard, railroad coach yard in the United States, into Sunnyside. And then there's the Sunnyside Viaduct, which is a pretty cool piece of architecture. And then into Woodside over the traditional elevated steel girder type structure, into Woodside, into Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, out to Citi Field and the tennis stadium, and also Flushing Park, where the last World Series was held in 1964. So there's a huge park there, and then of course Main Street, Flushing. So for any visitors, you just want to take a nice little trip, frequent service, great views. It's all elevated from here to nearly the end. Just want to mention that. Also, I want to talk about two or three projects that I'm very interested in. One is the Penn Station Access. I did a video on that. Believe it or not, that was my most successful video. Um, and I almost didn't post it. I took it from an Excella train heading up to Boston. And what Penn Station Access is Metro North is going to run trains on what's called the Hellgate line from the Bronx over the Hellgate Bridge, which I'm going to upload a video on the Hellgate Bridge probably later today. Beautiful bridge, over-engineered, built to last 500 years. I think it's about 100 years old now. And it goes into Astoria, Queens, and bypasses now Sunnyside Yards, on the outskirts of Sunnyside Yards, and then comes right down here, right where we're standing, and goes into the tubes, which there are 4 tubes here into Penn Station. And as part of that, bringing Metro North trains into Penn Station, they're going to build 4 new stations in the East Bronx. One at Hunts Point, not to be confused where we are here at Hunts Point, Parkchester, Co-op City, and then in the medical, there's a medical district in the Bronx too, with the station. And I was up recently on the Amtrak heading to Boston. You can see a lot of construction. Besides the stations, and you can see the footings for the station, the the concrete, not basements, but pillars for starting the stations. You can see them all, and also it's basically a double track railroad from New Rochelle to the Hellgate Bridge, and they're going to be putting, for most of it, a 3rd track. And you can see a lot of that type of construction going on. Now, the project was supposed to be finished, I believe originally, I don't know if it was 25 or 26, then it was 27, now it's 28, but it is going. I see some people have joined us, and I really appreciate it. It's just kind of hard for me to read it while I'm doing this. I'm doing this on a phone, but I really appreciate you all here. But if you get a chance and you're coming either to New York from up north from Boston, or you're heading up that way, when you get after the Hellgate Bridge, which is, you can't miss it, into the Bronx, you can start looking for the construction all along the tracks, putting in the 3rd track and also building those 4 new stations. Now, you can't see it from riding the Metro North. Metro North goes right into Grand Central now. But if you take a train from an Amtrak train, you will see it. And it's on your, as you're coming down from Boston, Co-op City's on your right-hand side, maybe 5 minutes after New Rochelle. It's a group of high-rise buildings built about 56 years ago. And that starts the piece of the East Bronx where the new stations are going to be. And of course, going up to Boston, it would be on your left-hand side. So I just want to point that out. This is a huge project. Realistically, we probably won't see it until 2029. One night, I was up at a birthday party in New Rochelle, and I just at the station about 11 o'clock went on a ticket machine, $5 ticket on Amtrak from New Rochelle to here. Of course, it was at night, couldn't really see anything. But if you just want to take a trip in the daytime, sometimes you can get an off-peak ticket on Amtrak to New Rochelle for not much money. The other project I want to talk about, which hasn't started construction yet, is called the IBX. and that's the Interborough Express. And this is a very cool project that will be a light rail line from Sunset Park in Brooklyn to Roosevelt Avenue uh, in Jackson Heights, and it's going to intersect with, I believe it was 17 subway stations. Maybe not directly, but they'll be very close. Just like this station is very close to the 7 train. It's basically a walk across the street. And also, it will connect to 2 Long Island Railroad stations. The main one in downtown Brooklyn, Atlantic Avenue, and then one in East New York. And what this will do, it allows for travel between Brooklyn and Queens in about 40 minutes with lots of connections. So it's going to connect a lot of different neighborhoods, a lot of different train lines. And you could still do this before going from Sunset Park to, let's say, the Roosevelt Station in Jackson Heights by subway, but you had to go through Manhattan. So this will bypass that, and there's quite a large population that lives along the line. And what else is kind of cool about it, or a nice feature, is there's already an existing freight line, and the freight line comes from the Hellgate Bridge, and that part of the line is operated by the New York Connecting Railroad. I think CXX and Providence and Worcester use that. They have bring some trains into the, the Bronx, and also, I mean, into Queens and into Long Island. The southern end is run by the Long Island Railroad, who subcontracts their freight business out. So there is freight in Queens and also in Brooklyn with connections to the rest of Long Island. So there's already a line there, so they don't have to acquire a right of way. Right now, it's a single track line. Their plan is to build 2 more tracks, so there'll be 2 tracks for the light rail and 1 for the freight, so it won't interrupt freight customers, and and the line's already there. One part of it that I don't know if it was controversial, there's a lot of thinking about it, is in a neighborhood in Queens, they were going to have a little street running portion. And here we have I don't know if it's picking it up here, but there's a Long Island Railroad train heading into one of the tunnels here into Manhattan. Um, but there was going to be a street running portion, and as you those that know me know, I'm a big street running fan. I think it's very cool. And they decided that it would cause too much delays, and it would make the trip times a little bit longer. So there's a cemetery in the middle, I guess, that has a single track tunnel, all phase cemetery. So instead of going around the cemetery, they're going to tunnel underneath it, and I guess that was agreed upon. So they have the route locked in with the tunnel under all phase cemetery, and then they were considering rapid bus transit. That was ruled out, and they're also considering heavy rail, um, like the subway. That was ruled out too. So it will be New York's first light rail system in the city, and Baltimore has, I mean, Buffalo has one, but first one in the city, and it, it's going to be, it's a $5.5 billion project, but the ridership they expect, it's like 48,000 per passenger. But of course, I mean, these things are built to last 50 years, so it's then the ridership's going to be huge. So although it sounds like a huge amount, well, it is a huge amount. Um, in the end, it sounds like a very cost-effective deal. I don't know if you can see there's a train heading into the tunnel. Ahead of us, I move the camera slightly. That's Long Island Railroad train. And so I'm looking forward to learning more about the IBX and I would love to be able to hike the trail. I don't think you can because it's an active freight line. There's only 1 to 3 trains a day. I think some days just 1 train a day. Um, the governor and the MTA general manager, they were photographed on the line, walking the line uh, last week. Um, and if there's any like real fan trips to it, I'm going to look into that. I don't know if in the Transit Museum, or even just map it out and try to get little pictures of it or videos of it from street level or overpass level. Now we're looking we're in Harold interlocking, and at the beginning of it, and just a little further down is the Sunnyside Yards. We can't see it, and the tall buildings are Long Island City. Now behind us, there's one last stop on this line, which is the Long Island City Rail Yard. It's a stub end stop, and like Hunters Point Avenue Station, which we're standing on here, the Long Island City is only used Monday through Friday in the peak direction. So trains stop here to unload passengers in the morning. They can walk across the street and get on the 7th train, or if they work in the area, just walk to work. And then the following stop is Long Island City. Uh, kind of the same thing. It's maybe 3 blocks from the Vernon Jackson subway station. Then in the afternoon, the trains leave from there to head east. So it's not real practical for living here. I have used it a few times when I've had like a late evening flight out of Kennedy. I've taken the train out of here straight to Jamaica, jump on the air train, and get to Kennedy. It's a really nice way to get to the airport. But anyways, that's what we're looking at here. And then you can see there's a bunch of equipment. There's like a drill in front of us. This is a big project too. There's 4 tunnels right here heading into the tubes under the East River to Penn Station. Uh, 2 of them were severely damaged in Hurricane Sandy. They're all running right now. One has been taken out of service. They're going to do a complete rehab. The tracks, the tunnel's 100 years old, and the tracks in the tunnel are kind of old school. They have the ballast like we're seeing here, and they'll be putting in new tracks as well as fixing the tunnel walls, and all that goes into that. And the tracks will be fixed to the tunnel floor rather than lying on like these wooden ties here and then on top of ballast. So they're going to do one at a time. There's 2. It's going to take a total of 3 years. So this has put a little bit of a crimp in the service for the Long Island Railroad and Amtrak. And together with Amtrak having to allow time uh, for work on the Penn Station Access in the Bronx and over the Hellgate Bridge. There's less Amtrak trains, less Long Island Railroad trains going through here. Of course, now Long Island Railroad has shifted some of the service to Grand Central, which doesn't go through this area. So we still have excellent service, but it's not at 100% capacity because of the 2 being taken out of service. That said, I think what they're doing is they're adding some cars to the Amtrak consist. Recently, I was a trip to Boston, um, coming back on a regional rail, which normally has 7 cars, I believe maybe 8, and it was a 10-car train. So they're trying to take up capacity by adding cars to Amtrak. And most of the intermediate stations, I think pretty much all of them, uh, the station platforms were not long enough, so people just had to move up a car or two to the train. No big deal. But anyways, friends, that's kind of my update. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Um, I would look forward to improving my quality of my videos. Everything is pretty much all my videos are unedited, except for the short ones. I edit them somewhat. Um, but I hope that is one of my goals. I know I've been saying it, but when I work full time, and then I have a seasonal job during tax time. So, but I do want to focus on that, and also want to collaborate with Boston Transit Productions. This guy out of Boston, Brian. I did I did one live with him, and he's a big transit fan, very knowledgeable, and hopefully we'll do something either on Northeast Corridor or even here in New York or up in Boston. And I'll put a link to his channel here, and also Jay from Rails or Rails. Uh, Forgive my very poor my Spanish pronunciation on the first word. But he's got an interesting channel. He doesn't post a lot, but he's got a very diverse posting. He does post some model work that he's done, some model railroad work, and some artwork in the subways. And he's a big subway fan, and I know a huge number 7 train fan. So I'll put Jay's info in the show notes too. So again, folks, live from Long Island City, New York, at the Hunters Point Avenue, Long Island Railroad Station, looking down the tracks towards Sunnyside, and I can see another Long Island Railroad train coming. I don't know if it's, I'm just using my phone. I don't know if it's picking it up, but it looks like it's at least 10 car train, maybe more. And here's 7 train. I believe the Mets are playing tonight, so service will be pretty frequent in a little bit. But it's a great line. But anyways, friends, I'm going to end it. Thank you so much, anybody that's watched to the end. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. Stay safe. Have a great rest of the weekend, and God bless you. And I'm trying to turn this off.